This is from Fuji. So myself, I started 4th. Decent qualifying. I had a little bit left in the tank, but let's see how we get on. So we're gonna go on board with myself to start with. We've got Hyperio, Philo and Chewy up ahead, and yeah, I live streamed this race, so this is going to be highlights. So 5 lights and they're out. A bit of a delayed reaction for myself, but a better getaway than Chewy there, and it looks like we're up to 3rd from the start. Looking to the inside, I do get a bump from behind from Robus, that actually allows us to get down the inside of Hyperio, and we're actually up into 2nd. Now, wow, it looks a bit wiggly behind us, so Robus up to 3rd, and it looks like Steve up to 4th. Now ahead you can see Philo, and at this point I was trying to see if I could stay with him, because I knew he was going to be fast, and I wanted to see if I could try and keep with him and try and put some pressure on him. But as I said, let's take a pause here and let's go back and check out how things went for the first corner. So we're on board with Chewy, and he's sitting on the pole, so let's see how he's doing. And yeah, slow reaction there, and then wheel spins. It really uses a lot of time there. Look at all that space. Down to what's 5th already. Looking ahead, you see the Robust there getting into the back of myself, and then I go into Hyperio. So look at Chewy from 1st all the way down to 9th as woof, a bit of sideways action. Just up ahead we saw that bit of a wiggle, and it looks like he, whoa, okay, that was a bit of lag there, but yeah, from 1st all the way down to 9th, you can see the guys fighting up ahead. White Shark on the inside there of Rick, goes down the inside, they both ghost out, and Chewy with a fast car here has got a lot of space to make up ahead. White Shark serving his penalty nice and early there. Down into the tight hairpin, everybody's bumping into everybody, and look at that, Chewy just sized straight through them and already up into 5th place. So let's rejoin the action back where we was earlier. So this is where we were before, trying to stay on the rear end of Philo. So you can see as we're coming down here, down into the chicane here, I was struggling here, and that's the problem with people not serving penalties. So he was ghost there, and just as he unghosted, he was in my car, so it gets a little bump out. You can see there, struggling a little bit of lag there, and he started to pull away just through this section here. But at this point, you can see that he had a bit of penalty there. There, I ran way too much over the curb there, and just lost some time there. Trying to get on the power. You can see I'm using a bit of boost there, trying to hold off from Robus here. You can see my rear light flashing. We'll go on board with Robus. He's looking at the rear end of my Mitsubishi power car, and he goes down the inside. At this point, I knew that he was faster than me in qualifying, and I thought he would have the pace to fight with Philo. So I was kind of happy to let him go, let him attack Philo up ahead. So let's do a quick rundown of how things are standing at this point. So after first lap, we've got Philo in 1st, 2nd Robus, 3rd myself, 4th Hyperio, 5th all the way back up to 5th Chewy, 6th Rick in the green car, White Shark in 7th, 8th JRC Racing, I believe that is, 9th MRC Bobby. And that is all the runners. So it looks like we've already had a couple of mechanical issues, maybe a retirement or 2 at this point. So we join the action at the end of lap 2. You can see here I'm getting a good exit, using a bit of boost, just mainly to stay in the slipstream. You can see I'm actually already trying to fuel save at this point. So you can see I'm not all over him, because I felt like he was faster than me, so I didn't really want to put him under too much stress. I just want to save some fuel, but we go to the inside, brake later, and we do actually make the apex. So we managed to get the pass done, and we're back up to 2nd. But all this time, this is just allowing Philo to pull away. Remember, he's already won the first 2 races quite easily, so we just don't want to let him get away at this point. Looking looking back further down the field, we can see here Chewy is now starting to catch up us guys up ahead. I believe Chewy actually decided to start on the harder tyre, so he's trying to make up some time on the harder tyre, so he's going to be pushing hard. Up ahead you can see Robust now looking at the inside of my car, while Hyperio is keeping a watching brief, seeing what's going on ahead. All this time Philo's going to be managing to get away. Let's go on board with Robust. So looking at the rear of my car there, you can see I missed the apex by a good long way. Coming onto the main straight. And my tactic, as with the first race, was to try and do 20 minutes per tank of fuel. So I knew it was doable, I just need to fuel save a little bit. Down the main straight, Robust goes to the outside, I stick to the inside, hard onto the brakes, and I managed to cover it off and hold him off on the apex there. Looks like he gets a slightly better exit. I decided to just let my car drift out, so he's not got anywhere to go. Managed to hold him off, so good move there. And Hyperio's still looking at the back of us too and trying to make a move if any of us cock up. So we've actually done a little bit of a rewind because there's been a pass further down the pack. So here we've got Rick holding 6th and 7th White Shark. So White Shark looking at the back of Rick. Rick looks like he's got a slight penalty. Slow out of that fast corner. He's gone down the inside to this long right-hander. Looks like he's got the move done. Rick can't quite come back. Although White Shark runs wide, he's on the curb and he manages to hand the pace back to Rick. So how are they going to do going down into chicane? Is White Shark going to go for it again? Rick looking semi-defensive but not totally, and White Shark has to concede. He's managed to get past, but now he's lost the place and handed it all back to Rick. As we move forward, we can see here the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Really close as Robust dives to the inside and actually gets a move done on myself. I might try and go around the outside, and actually do manage to go around all the way around the outside. So he managed to get down the inside, but he didn't quite hold it. And then I'm back up to 2nd. So now going for the technical area section near the end of the lap. And I've lost the rear end. And that's actually cost me quite a bit of time. Let's go back on board. You can see now I'm back down to 3rd, and you can see how far Philo is ahead. You can see there I'm using a bit of boost. Hyperio isn't quite close to me on behind, but Chewy is close to Hyperio. You can see here I've used the boost to just try and stay in the slipstream so I can still fuel save a little bit. Fuel was probably the limiting factor here at this point. Looking back further down, you can see Chewy now starting to apply the pressure to Hyperio. Hyperio losing a bit of the rear end there, and Chewy is all over the rear end at this point. Dab of the brakes and flicking it through fast left-hand corner. I believe this one's like called 180R or something like that. No, a lot of the Japanese corners, the angle and radius. Doesn't look like he's quite got the grip. Remember, he is on the harder tyre. Ooh, just myself there, getting into the brakes as hard as possible and just bumping the back of Robust there. I don't think it caused any issue, but it is quite hard to see in this race quite a few people bumping into the back into that corner there. So I'm looking at him as much as possible. He gets the apex nicely. I get on the power as early as I can. It doesn't look like I'm going to have much trouble from behind at this point. Although losing the rear end there, gone and thrown away a load of time and performance there. Even with the slipstream, I'm losing ground to Robust ahead. Hyperio must be thinking, oh, if I can just catch these guys, I've got a chance. And it looks like we've had another retirement. So CJR is the last runner at this point. So it looks like we've lost White Shark, unfortunately. White Shark out with transmission issues. So let's just double check. So we're on board with White Shark, currently holding 7th. Let's listen and see if we can hear what the issue was. Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah, sounds like a box of neutrals. And out he goes. So we rejoin the action. On lap 6, and as you can see there, Robust running wide in the penultimate corner there, not getting near the apex, and that's just giving me the chance maybe start mounting an attack. So onto the start finish straight, ducks and dives, trying to break the toe. You can hear there I'm short shifting the car just to try and save a bit of fuel and still get the slipstream, and we managed to pull alongside Robust, going down to the first corner, hard on the brakes, and as long as we get to the apex the job is done. There we go. Robust gets a slightly better exit and uses a bit of boost, but I'm just going to hold him off there. He's going to be a brave man to go down the inside into that corner, it has to be said. He's using a bit of boost again, just trying to keep up the pressure on myself. That takes me up to second, but Philo is just running away up the front. So, lap 7, let's do a quick rundown. So first we've got Philo in the Ayrton Senna inspired livery, with a nice big gap back to myself in second, with Robust in close contention in third. Right behind Robust really, only a few meters, we've got Hyperio, the Swedish driver, and then he's trying to fend off Chewy, who's making up for that poor start after a very nice pole position. As it looks like Hyperio has actually gone wide. Hyperio's gone wide, and he's actually lost out to Chewy there. Let's see, make sure there's nothing going on with the car. No, it looks like it was just a mistake. So then 6th, and holding on to the back of this fight here, we've got Rick in the green Super Formula car, and CRJ looks like he's having some issues. So we'll slow off that corner. And maybe he's having some kind of mechanical issues there. We'll have to check in on him soon. Back to the front of the field, we can see here now Robust is now trying to come back on myself. So you can see he used a bit of boost at the start. I am still in my fuel saving mode. He's got a nice slipstream down here, going defensive, put the car in the middle of the track. Don't want to make it too easy, but just overdriven, and I've gone in way too deep there. Robust goes back on the undercut, back up to second. So this is going to be a battle all race long. So we actually rejoined the action on lap 8, so it looks like there was an issue for Philo. So final corner. Oh, and he actually lost the rear end on the AstroTurf of the final corner. Struggles to quite get it going. You can see that's Robust popping out the final corner, so he's lost a good chunk of time there. So it looks like he has made probably his first mistake of the season so far, and let's see if he will make some more. Meanwhile, while Philo makes that mistake, we join the action back in 5th with Hyperio. Looks like he's got onto the back of Chewy. Remember, Chewy's still running that higher tyre, so down the start finish straight, can he get in the slipstream of the Super Formula car just ahead, and can Rick catch up to this group as well? Right in the slipstream, he goes to the inside. Chewy doesn't make it difficult. Hyperio hard onto the brakes. Looks like he's got that job done. Oh, a little twitch of the rear end, but it looks like he's completed that pass. Good pass there by Hyperio, up to 4th, and Chewy back down to 5th. And it's still carrying on. It looks like Chewy's still looking at the back of Hyperio as Hyperio goes wide there, and Chewy managed to go all the way around the outside. But look at Rick. Rick is now right into this battle with these guys here. Looking to the outside, maybe the inside of Hyperio is all over him here. Either driver going to use boost. Oh no, Rick's on the AstroTurf there. I was always going to end up badly. He was on the AstroTurf and using boost, so it's always going to be a bit of touch and go there. It looks like up ahead there's been some movers and shakers as well, so let's get a quick replay on that. So while that action was going on just behind, myself and Robust are again having another ding-dong battle. So last but one corner, Robust again wide. So we managed to get a good exit out there. Take my wider line and managed to get them close to the apex and probably on the power just a bit earlier than Robust. Not using any boosts at this point, but just using the slipstream, still fuel saving. We should start catching him. Yeah, here we go. Pull to the inside. Looks like we've got the move done on Robust. We've got the inside. Who's going to brake later? Robust actually brakes a little bit later. Tries to cut back, but my car's just in the way. Although he does look like he's got a long side, but he's going to be outside for this corner though. He has to brake a little bit harder, take a little bit of a shallower line, but I managed to keep up the minimum speed and hold on to the place. Oh, and Robust goes a little bit wide coming out of that corner. That's going to cost him some time. Look at that. Just ebbing away. While Chewy, because he's been fighting with Hyperion, and now Rick, you can see he's not quite on the rear end. So we carry on. We're here. We're watching Hyperion up in 5th, braking for the chicane. So he's right in the middle of this sandwich. He needs to attack forward and be careful from behind as well. Although he's just got a bit of the AstroTurf, and he's just done a complete 360. Let's go on board with him. Oh my life, he's lost a lot of time there. It's hemorrhaging time there. Got JRC nowhere behind, so he's safe from behind, but he's just lost a lot of time there. In fact, let's check JRC's. Ooh, he's nearly a lap down already on Philo, so he's had some sort of issue somewhere down in the group there. But Hyperio, it's got a lot of work to make up, and it looks like, oh no, I thought he was going to go for the pits there, but he doesn't actually commit to that. So, as we start lap 12, let's do a quick rundown of the positions. So Philo out in the lead, myself in 2nd, closely followed by Robus in 3rd. Looks like he's got the red a lot on his halo, so it looks like he might have used quite a lot of his boost already in the start of this race. 4th, we've got Chewy making up for that poor start, but having a solid race so far. 5th, we've got Rick, seems to be picking off on other people's mistakes. Of course, we managed to get past Hyperio after the mistake only earlier. Hyperio, after the mistake, further down the road now, needs to try and make up for that lost time and positions. And JRC Racing, looks like he's cruising near the rear of the field. I think he's had some sort of issue so far in this race, but it's definitely been a race of reliability, because there's been quite a few dropouts in this race. So now we're at the end of lap 12, actually getting into the time when people are going to start going for the pits. So there is our first pit stop. So that's Robus going for his first pit stop at 17 minutes. He's only got 4% fuel left, so he's definitely been pushing hard in the first stint. He started on the soft tyre and he's into the pits. And out he goes, a full tank of fuel, and he's sticking with the soft tyre, and down to 6th, so still ahead of JRC, but down to the back of the pack. Let's see what the guys do up ahead. So, a little bit further along in the lap for myself. This one I wasn't quite going to get 20 minutes out of the tank. I'd use a bit too much fuel, so I needed a pit really to cover off Robus, so I was worried that if he would have been able to do hot laps with no interference, he would have been able to get past me on the fresher tyres. So myself, I'm into the pits as well. So myself taking a full tank of fuel and a new set of tyres, whereas Hyperio here manages to duck in and get out ahead of me. Now at this point I was bricking it because I didn't know how the fruit Hyperio managed to pick after me and get out ahead of me. Now on the side there we saw that he went for the harder tyre, so I knew I had good pace and I needed to get past him, what I didn't know is it looked like he forgot to take fuel, or had a fuel issue. So me trying too hard, make a mistake. And as you can see, I had got out still ahead of Robus until that mistake. So got on the power too early, worrying about Hyperio too much, and made a silly mistake that's cost me not only time but a place, as Robus then finds his way past Hyperio, which now I'm going to be stuck behind this guy on the harder tyre for a whole stint at this rate. So yeah, really starting to worry at this point. Into the final corner, and you'll see in a second Hyperio goes back for the pits. So looks like a fuel issue, and he didn't get his tank of fuel, although that does have the plus point of now he doesn't need to run the hard tyre again, he can just run another stint on the soft tyre. So that's going to be handy for his race pace, although it looks like he's going to have make an extra stop. So let's do a quick rundown. It's only just started lap 16, so let's see how things are standing at this point. So first we have Philo with a nice lead there. Second we have Chewy, who's going long in the first stint, and Rick is in for his pit stop on end of lap 15, after 16. Robus is up to 4th, that will be 3rd as he passes Rick in the pits. Myself up to 4th, yeah, as we pass Rick in the pits. And then Hyperio down in 6th. Don't think he's going to be able to catch Rick coming out the pits, because of course he's made an extra pit stop, so it's all going to be about him getting his head down, busting through those laps. And JRC bringing up the rear, definitely having a struggle, but with those extra pit stops he is now within striking range of Hyperio. But he hasn't made a pit stop, so maybe he's trying to stretch the fuel load. So the people who've not made a pit stop so far is Philo, who's now into the pits on the 22nd minute, and it looks like JRC also into the pits on this lap. So those two are the only two that have a pit other than Chewy. So Chewy also coming to pit on the same lap as Philo. So there you can see he was on the harder tyre. So let's see where that brings everybody out. So Robus currently in 3rd. Can he get past Philo and Chewy? I don't think he's going to get Philo, but he may get Chewy at this rate. He comes onto the start-finish straight, and you can see he's got a decent lead over myself. Back in 4th at this point. Philo's out the pits already. Rick is a few hundred metres behind myself at this point. And you can see Chewy's still sitting in the pits. Pit out. There's Robus, there's myself, and he's going to have to slot in just behind me. So he's made some good time there. Made probably 3 or so seconds in the pit window, although I did have a tendency to throw away time with mistakes that I made. So we fast forward the action to lap 18. You can see here Chewy starting to take advantage of me missing the chicane there, getting nowhere near the apex, and then getting a bit of wheel spin on the exit of the chicane. So now he's right on me. At this point he's going to be really nicely in my slipstream going on to the start finish straight there. I'm trying to hold off him off as much as possible. As you can see, Robus still up ahead. Me, I'm missing the apex by a mile. Robus actually doing a bit of lapping. You can see Chewy using a bit of boost there, but decides not to jump out of the slipstream just yet. He's going to sit in my slipstream for a bit longer. What will he do? Is he just going to continue to hold there, or no? He uses a bit of boost, pops out the slipstream, it's on the inside, and gets the move done. So for myself there, I knew Chewy had some good pace, and I felt maybe it's best to not try too hard, hold on to his rear end, and hopefully he can start reeling in Robus. I can use that to start to take advantage and get past Robus myself and take 3rd. So we're just having a quick recap on JRC. It looks like he's also succumbed to mechanical issues. He was struggling all race, but yet there goes his engine. His engine has expired on the exit of the final corner. He too is out, so that leaves only 6 drivers left. So as it's lap 20, let's do a quick rundown. Philo still miles out ahead in the lead, but only ahead of 5 other cars. It's been a real engine and mechanical breaker this race has been. Second is Robus, holding good pace, and in the background you can see myself and Chewy. So Chewy up to 3rd after passing myself, and now starting to catch Robus. Me, I'm down to 4th. The Mitsubishi powered Super Formula car is doing well, but just not quite got as much pace as Chewy and Philo at this point. I feel like I've got good pace over Robus, but we need to catch it. 5th we have Rick. He's kind of on his own. He's got a few hundred meters to myself up ahead, and kind of just going through the laps at this point. 6th Hyperio, after that mistake and a double pit stop, he's got a lot of time and places to make up, but he doesn't have to run that harder tyre at all for the rest of the race. So we rejoin the action a couple of laps later, 1 lap later, and you can see at this point we've got Chewy is now actually caught up with Robus, and I've managed to stay on the rear of Chewy, so this is exactly what I wanted to happen. Now at this point I don't want to put too much pressure on Chewy. I don't want him to think that I'm here to pass. I just want him to get on with the pass with Robus and leave the door open for me. So struggling through that sector there, I lost a bit of time to the guys ahead, both in white cars, and it looks like Chewy got a great exit and actually bumped into the side of Robus and has actually passed him. Now for me that wasn't great because look, I'm not in their slipstream, I'm not close enough. Robus actually managed to duck back down into the slipstream and pass Chewy back down into the first corner, braking hard. Chewy looks to the outside, but nothing's going on. Gonna have to sit back in and see if he can get past him again. See, while I'm sitting here now, I'm like, right, this is my chance, getting a second chance at this. I need to really try and close up onto the rear end of these guys so that we can take advantage when Chewy tries to make another move on Robus. You can see they're getting on the brass there, and I lost a lot of front end grip. Hemorrhaging time here, but Chewy is looking mighty racy. Now he can definitely get onto the back of Robus. Is there enough laps? Is there enough time to even get anywhere near Philo? Philo is a long way out ahead. See, he's currently in the final corner and we're in the chicane here, which means that he might need to make mistakes for us to be caught at this stage, but he has already made a mistake this race, so it is possible, it is plausible. So we'll go on board with Chewy, looking around the cut back on Robus here, gets on the power, but unfortunately Robus's car is just there, so it looks like he had to back off a little bit. He's in the slipstream though. Myself, I'm not in the slipstream of either car at this point. He's using a bit of boost while still in the slipstream. Is he going to pop out? Looks like he goes to the inside of Robus. Who's going to brake latest? It looks like Chewy slightly late on the brakes, a little bit wide the apex, but there's nowhere for Robus to come back past. He's going to the outside of turn 2, but it's going to be a magical move to go around the outside there, and he can't quite complete it. Now myself, I'm now going, right, this is my chance, I need to catch Robus, and his line is a bit wide there, so we're now right onto the end of him. He has to serve a little penalty there, but we're right there with him now. So this is the break I needed. This is a chance I needed to try and get up to Robus and get past him. Looking at him into the chicane there, he goes defensive. I take the wide line, try and maximise the exit here. Oh, but just getting understeer there from the dirty air of the rear of that Super Formula car just up ahead. Round to the complex. Right, so we really need to be with him coming on to the start-finish straight. We managed to get close to the apex of the penultimate corner, but again the rear end jumps out and we lose some time. On to the final start-finish straight. You can see there he's managed to pull a nice healthy gap. It looks like we're going to have to spend another lap behind him. So remember, I'm trying to save fuel here. I want to get to the 40th minute if possible. Now it means doing 22 minutes on this tank, so I've definitely got to stretch this tank out a little bit more than the first tank. So we join the lap action a little bit later in the lap. You can see Chewy's buggered off down the road, chasing after Philo. Looks like we get a good exit. Still fuel saving, you can hear there, not revving it out nowhere near as much as it can, but we're nicely in the slipstream here. Looks like this has been mine and Robus's kind of race so far. Slipstream's coming along, he leaves the inside open. Both brake pretty much identical, but I've got the inside line. Robus looks at the cutback. I get a little oversteer and actually cut across him. Not on purpose, but it does mean that he can't get back past me, unfortunately. So 35 minutes in and lap 25, and for me, well, it's 36 minutes in. I want to stretch my stint another 14 minutes, but you can see here Robus has to jump into the pits. I'm thinking, right, I reckon he's going to have to do an extra stop than me, so I need to focus on pushing forward. And Robus is out and he sticks to the, oh, so he's gone onto the harder tyre this time, so he's now taken the harder tyre, so it looks like his final stint he will be on the softer tyre. I don't think he's going to make 25 minutes on this tank of fuel unless he does some miracle fuel saving. So, end of lap 27th, we're now, what, 39 minutes in, so I've managed to stretch that fuel a little way, but it won't stretch any longer, it won't stretch another lap, so we're into the pits, and we're going to be pitting now. This I'm hoping to be my final stop, so I'm going to have to take the medium tyre, which is a tyre that I haven't driven at this track yet. I didn't manage to find any time to get practice on the harder tyre, and I'm going to have to fuel save a little bit more than I did in that last stint to try and get all the way to the end of this race. There we go, so full tank of fuel. It looks like, where is Robus? Robus is still behind us, so that's great for me. So it looks like he's coming under attack from Hyperio, so it looks like he's definitely decided maybe to start saving him a bit more fuel, but he lost a bit of time there, and Hyperio's now managed to get past him. Remember, Hyperio's a bit of a wild card at this point because we don't know how much fuel he's going to be, how many fuel stops he's going to have to do, because he did one extra, whether he's going to stretch it or not. So 40 minutes in, let's do a quick rundown. So first we have Philo, should be coming into pit anytime soon. Looks like he may need to make one more pit stop. Second and catching, we have Chewy. Had a great pole position, poor start, but just made his way back through the grid. Third, we have Rick. So evidently going long on the fuel, he's only made one pit stop, so doing really well on the fuel side of things, and up to third. Fourth, I've made my fourth and final stop, so I've just got to get this car to the end of the race with enough performance and tyres by the end of the race. Fifth, Hyperio, after making that extra stop, he's making his way back up through the field, and it looks like he's got past Robus, who's now down to 6th, and put a massive gap into him. So I think at this point Robus was thinking, right, I need to make this last to the end of the race, or otherwise he's definitely going to lose out to myself, because I've made it clear that I'm not doing another stop, and I think he probably needs to, unless he can fuel save one. So, lap 29, 42 minutes in, and Hyperio is coming in for his final stop. So he has made one extra stop to most people here, but on the bright side, he's not going to need to stick a full tank of fuel in there, and he can stick with a soft tyre, so he's going to be fast at the end of this race. Again, we move forward, lap 31, we now have Chewy coming in for a pit stop, so this will be his last stop. He's only got 15 minutes to go, so it looks like it could be a fairly quick stop, and remember, he started on the harder tyre, so he's going to have the soft tyre going to the end. Also in on lap 31 we have Rick in the green Super Formula. So I don't believe he's run the harder tyre, so he's going to be in. It's going to be a short pit stop because it's what, 15 minutes from the end, and he should be okay for fuel at this point. So that pit stop drops him back down to 5th. He is on the medium tyre, so on the harder tyre, but he's got a full tank of fuel. He can go all the way to the end. It looks like he's actually managed to jump Robus in the pit stop, so Robus, either with some sort of mechanical issue or having to really fuel save, has dropped 3rd down to 5th. Also, we have our leader into the pits for his final stop, so he's come out onto the harder tyre and he only took 51% fuel, so he's definitely got a light car for the final section of the race. He is way ahead of Chewy, but let's see how that goes. So after the last round of pit stops have all shaken out, let's see how things stand. We have Philo up ahead, still in the lead, led it from the first corner and looking strong for another win at this point. Second we have Chewy, was on pole, is now looking very fast, very racy, but he's got a lot of time to make up. Third is myself. I've made all my pit stops and I've just got to get it to the end. If we could keep 3rd, I'd be happy with that. Rick now up to 4th, and done a good job there, managed to get past Robus. I don't know whether Robus had issues or just poor pace, but Rick up to 4th, which will be a good result. Robus down to 5th, unfortunately, as mentioned before there. I don't know whether there's an issue with the performance of his car. Maybe he's not feeling comfortable, or it is just he's having to fuel save. And 6th, Hyperio, a long way back from the guys ahead, after that having to make an extra pit stop, but he's going to be fast. He's got a fast car. Let's see what he can do. So moving forward, we're now lap 33. Just over under 12 minutes left until the final lap. So looking at the battle here for 4th and 5th between Robus and Rick. Rick's in 5th in that Marvel Hulk green. Whoa, wow, that was very late there. Very late, but somehow he managed to pull the car up there. So I don't know whether Robus was maybe a bit cautious on the entry to the corner there. Rick took advantage, or whether that was a complete and utter, like, send it and let's get this move done. So can Robus come back on Rick? Looking at the rear of his car. Now remember, Robus was up at second at one point in this race and has slowly started dropping back near the end of the race. Maybe the longer race has taken its toll. Down into the chicane, braking hard. Robus, bumps into the back of Rick there. Rick's now off the track, but it looks like Robus is going to let him with rejoining the track. So there, that is great sportsmanship. Love to see that. Robus made a mistake, but held up, let Rick on the, back onto the track. And all the time, this is going to be holding these two guys up. The more they fight, the more Hyperio is going to have a chance to come back into this battle. Into the final corner, Robus, very shallow there, but it means that he's late on the power there, but he's going to have the slipstream. Can he pull back past Rick down the start-finish straight? Let's have a look back, see if we can see Hyperio. Unfortunately not, so he is a good long way behind this battle. Let's check in. Yeah, he's only exiting the final corner now, so he's got plenty of work to do. So, lap 36, we're on board with Philo, only 9 minutes to go. He's all the way over, going into the pits. It looks like Philo's making an extra pit stop. Is that because he's miscalculated for fuel? Does he not reckon he can get to the end of the race, or does he just want to get off these hard tyres? Where's Chewy in all of this? Chewy in second, now up into first. So Chewy evidently must think that he can get to the end of this. Philo thinks that he can't. So can Philo chase down Chewy at the end of the race there? Okay, so he didn't actually put what, a splash of fuel in there? Not much, but switched over to the softer tyre. Wow, this is going to be an interesting climax to this race. What we'll have to do, we'll have to sit in this and see if Philo can catch Chewy in the closing stages. So, lap 39, we have less than 4 minutes to go of this race, and as I said, it's all getting close. Up front, Philo's trying to chase down Chewy, and then at the back here, we've got Hyperio's now up onto the back of Robus. And remember, Robus is maybe trying to get this car all the way to the end, whereas Hyperio, I think he only made a stop maybe 10 minutes ago. So yeah, using the boost, and he's easily passed Robus there, and slots back in. Robus really struggling now. Maybe went too hard too soon at the start of the race. That's coming back to bite him at this point. So, with less than 3 minutes to go, let's do a quick rundown. So, first we have Chewy leading the race there. He's got a red light on his hoop, so he's a bit low on boost, but he is leading the race and he has track position at this point. Philo in second with a fresh set of sticky tyres, but a long gap to catch up to Chewy. Myself in third, I've got the harder tyre. At this point I'm just trying to get to the end of the race with enough fuel and tyres to go. Try and secure that third. Fourth is Rick. So we're through the technical section near the end of the track, and it looks like Hyperio's just behind him. So Hyperio, after that extra pit stop, is really starting to catch up to these guys. A lot of these guys are going to be on the harder tyre. Remember, Hyperio on the softer tyre. Though, looking at the red light on his hoop, he has used a lot of his boost already. Can he attack Rick? And sixth, Robus. Had a great start to the race, but started to fade as the race has gone on. So we're on board with Chewy here. So we have 1.5 minutes left of the race. As he pits, oh my life, it looks like he couldn't make the fuel last. He has got 1% of fuel left. It looked like if the race was a minute and a half shorter, he would have had this win. And it looks like, unfortunately, that's going to mean that Philo is going to take this win. I thought he wasn't going to be able to catch. Look at that, literally a splash. 13%, and he's back out. Literally a splash. Oh, that was close. Unlucky for Chewy, but I think he put Philo's heart in his mouth for a short period of time there. Further back in the group there, here Hyperio on his comeback drive, still in fifth, using the last bits of his boost there on Rick. He's firmly in the slipstream, and this is what. There's a start-finish straight, so we're at 56-57, so they're going to have to do one more lap. Let's hope they've all got fuel as he takes the lead. Well, takes fourth from Rick. Rick comes back on the brakes, so really comes back on him. Managed to go right round the outside. That was a great comeback move there by Rick. I think Hyperio thought he had the move done, and it looks like Robus has slowed down, so he didn't have to do the extra lap and do the fuel. So coming out the final corner, we've got Philo. Philo's going to take this win. It looked like one lap. Chewy only needed one more lap of fuel, and he could have held on and taken the victory here. But it's Philo instead taking the victory in his Senna Tribute livery, although he's having to serve a bit of penalty here. Oh no, that's what he's doing, he's stopping so he doesn't have to do an extra lap of fuel. Maybe he didn't have that extra lap, and second comes across Chewy. Unfortunately, almost had first there. Then up ahead, we've got myself coming home in third. At this point, I'm just trying to nurse the car home with enough fuel to get round. So this is where we left the action, with Rick just ahead. So this is the battle for fourth and fifth, going into the fast second corner. And it looks like Rick taking the slightly wider line. Can Hyperio smuggle himself down the inside? Not quite. And he goes around the outside. Goes all the way around the outside, all the way around the outside, all the way round. And it looks like he's got the job done. He's going to have the inside line for the chicane. Rick cuts back and tries to search for that inside line. So he is through, going into the chicane. Who's going to brake later? It looks like they're both deep on the brakes. Rick and Hyperio both going hammer and nail for this fourth position on the final lap. But it looks like Hyperio is now up ahead. Rick does have a penalty to serve, so maybe that's in the back of his mind. He's going to have to concede some sort of time anyway, but he's going to still keep on fighting. Fourth and fifth go down into final corner, and it looks like Hyperio's got the edge, and it looks like Rick does have a small penalty, so it looks like this is how it's going to finish. So Hyperio fourth and fifth Rick, with Robust bringing it up in sixth. There we go. So if you enjoyed this, if you want to see more, then let me know in the comments below. We'll be live streaming Friday's race, so if you want to see that, be sure to tune in then, and have a good night.